Good evening once again. I'm Ali Velshi in for Brian Williams. Day 1259 of the Trump administration, 125 days until the presidential election. As we come on the air tonight in New York City, the symbol of the movement for racial justice could soon be painted in front of Trump Tower. The painted words, "Black Lives Matter," are expected to stretch down Fifth Avenue. This morning, the president described this as a, quote, symbol of hate. Lately, he's been doubling down on waging what appears to be culture wars as the pandemic that has rocked this White House for the past 4 months escalates to an alarming level in this country. Just a few hours ago, Trump was declaring victory on that front.
I think we're going to be very good with the coronavirus. I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope.
You still believe so? Disappear?
Well, I do.
New cases of the virus are surging, with the daily number topping 40,000 in recent days and moving north of 50,000 over the past 24 hours. New cases. The New York Times reports infections in this country are now up 80% over the past 2 weeks. Tonight, 38 states and Puerto Rico are grappling with COVID spikes. The South and the West are new epicenters, with Arizona, California, Florida, and Texas posting the highest number of new cases. Bloomberg News reports intensive care units in Houston are now at 102% of capacity. ProPublica reports many of the city's healthcare workers fear that hospitals may soon be overwhelmed with virus patients. Georgia also dealing with a major increase in coronavirus cases. The outbreak now straining that state's testing infrastructure. Today, White House task force members said discussions are underway to flood those states seeing major outbreaks with even more testing facilities, but added this would not be a long-term solution.
We cannot test our way out of the current outbreaks. We must be disciplined about our own personal behavior, especially around the July 4th holiday, and especially among the young adults, and I mean 35 and under, who are driving the current outbreaks in many states.
Today, California's governor ordered certain indoor businesses in 19 counties, including Los Angeles County, to shut down for 3 weeks, effective immediately. New York City's mayor postponed indoor dining indefinitely, citing soaring infection rates at similar facilities in other states. Vice President Pence appeared in a mask today for at least part of his trip to Arizona, as several more cities are now making face coverings mandatory for anyone going outside. And the president, who has steadfastly refused to mask up in public, may be having a change of heart.
I'm all for masks. I think masks are good.
I'm all for masks. Trump did add that masks should not be mandatory. As this ongoing public health crisis continues, the White House is still trying to grapple with reports that Russia paid bounties to Taliban-linked militants to kill U.S. and coalition forces in Afghanistan, and that the president was told about the plot months ago. Tonight, the Washington Post says Trump has no plans for an immediate response because he, quote, does not believe the reports are true or actionable, according to 2 senior administration officials. This morning on social media, Trump again dismissed the issue, calling it, quote, just another made up by fake news tale that is told only to damage me and the Republican Party. Just another hoax. Hours later, the president made his first public comments about the intel, echoing his administration's line about not having been briefed because the information had not been verified.
We never heard about it because intelligence never found it to be of that level where it would rise to that. I'm sure I don't see many things that they don't think rose to the occasion. This didn't rise to the occasion. And from what I hear, and I hear it pretty good, the intelligence people many of them didn't believe it happened at all. I think it's a hoax. I think it's a hoax by the newspapers and the Democrats. This was something that never got presented to me, and they know that. Never got presented because it didn't rise to that level.
Trump's national security advisor and press secretary offered reports with a slightly different take on why Trump wasn't informed about the intel and appeared to focus on one unnamed CIA staffer.
The person who decided early on whether the president should be briefed on this in the Oval intelligence briefing was his career senior career civil servant, a CIA officer. And she made that decision because she didn't have confidence in the intelligence that came up. When we had this raw intelligence, we started an interagency process to look at options so that if the intelligence turned out to be verified, if it could be corroborated, then we'd have options to go to the president with.
It was a career CIA officer with more than 30 years tenure who made the decision not to brief it up, and the National Security Advisor agreed with that decision. It was the right decision to make, and at this moment, as I speak to you, it is still unverified.
Today, the Senate Intelligence Committee became the latest group of lawmakers to get a briefing on from the administration on the bounty plot. A new report in Politico says, quote, top White House officials confirmed to lawmakers this week that the Russian bounty intelligence was included in Trump's daily written brief in late February. Capitol Hill sources say even though it had not been briefed to the president orally by that point. The article does not specify which lawmakers received this information. The Gang of 8 members of Congress, who the administration usually keeps in the loop on critical national security matters, are still hoping to get their own briefing from the director of the CIA, the director of National Intelligence, and the head of the National Security Agency. That meeting had been scheduled to take place today, but this morning it was postponed until tomorrow.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.